Man, this is a long chapter. Maybe there's another clue somewhere. Maybe now that the ghost girl is spawning up here, yeah, giggle at me. Oh? Ugh. Ugh. That's spooky. You? I mean, the other girl doesn't have a head, so maybe you want the tongue? Oh, shit. You want the tongue bag? No. It's starting to feel like a bad idea. Fuck. You. Let's try you. Let's try her. Because the other girl said I, let's try you. The little girl's spirit is staggering towards Ayumi, blood gushing up from her gaping cross-section of head as she walks. Please be the right one. Tokiko Tsuji. This is yours, isn't it? I'm giving it back. Offered the spirit Tokiko's tongue. Please be the right one. I think it was her. I think that was Tokiko. Fuck! Run! Oh. It's a good thing I decided to not give it to the other girl. Huh? Would have. Oh. And went Sachiko. Yeah. I want to see where you came from. Do we want to go this way yet? No. It's a good thing I decided against giving it to the first girl, because that would have ended poorly, I imagine. Of course, it's where it'd be. Oh.
やあ、岸沼。それに委員長。そちらも無事で何より。
I suddenly am very suspicious of this man.
どうしたの？
ちょっとな。お前、どこにいたんだ？
別館の方にいたんだけど、さっき急に気を失ったみたいで。気がついたら、なんか校舎の雰囲気が変わってて。あと、持田と持田の妹にも会ったよ。
ほんとか？あいつらも無事なのか？
うん。なんか、妹がはぐれてたみたいだけど。
森重くん、それ手に持ってるもの。
Morishige appears to be grasping a blood-soaked pouch in his hands. Ah, of course.
ああ、これ、この先の通路の床下で、見つけたんだけど。何かのまじない？これ、いるの？じゃあ、渡しとくよ。俺は今人探しでそれどころじゃないんだ。
Received another tongue bag from Morishige. As with the others, there's a student ID name tag attached to the front. Heavenly Host Elementary School, Class 5-2, Yuki Kano.
じゃあ、ね。なんだよ、委員長。その目は。そうだ。持田が1の A で待ち合わせしようって言ってたよ。
おう。多分よ。鈴本のいるあの場所じゃなくて。
It probably was.
近くの床にでも転がってたんだろう。これ。じゃなきゃよ。なあ。
怖い。あの人、手、血まみれだった。
Well, we've got the third tongue, courtesy of, the freaky boy. Is the other ghost still up here? I hear that giggle. Are you still running around up here? There you are. Well, we got it.
この子は片目がない。返してあげるべき体の部分がこれじゃ足りてない。どうしよう。
Left tongue bag. No, let's go look around for the... Girl lowers her head and begins rocking slowly back and forth.
かんのゆきちゃん、返してあげる。これ
Wait, I said no!
あなたのものでしょ。
Offered the spirit Yuki's tongue.
お姉さん、ありがとう。
すげえ。やったな、篠崎。これで3人か。あと1人。赤い服の。
幽霊と喋ってると、どんどん自分が死に近づいていく感覚がする。わかる？だんだん自分の死に顔が頭の中にはっきりと浮かんでくるの。すごく嫌なイメージ。帰りたい。
篠崎。わかった。次、俺がやるからよ。だから、しっかり。あ
Ah, shit, another earthquake.
地震か。でかいぞ。
Oh, oh boy. There's something going down in the infirmary.
気を失ってたのか。どこだここは。
Oh.
ここ、俺らの教室か。マジかよ。
I don't trust it. Hey.
篠崎、しっかりしろよ。おい。息はしてるな。
Whew.
篠崎、おい、起きろよ。
菱沼くん。
見てみろよ、周り。俺も信じらんねえんだけど。マジだよ。ほら、俺の机だ。
見て見て、私の机。
ってことは、
私たち帰ってこれたのよ。
しゃあ、ざまみろちくしょう。
I don't think we're back. Talk to you again?
もう帰ってこられないかと思ってた。
I mean, you almost didn't.
サトシやユイ先生たちは帰ってきてねえのか。
It's just us. There are various notebooks inside with labels like 29 day duty log and attendance roster. Stacked with teaching materials, including the remote for the overhead projector. Shelves were filled with personal effects belonging to the Class 2-9 primary and assistant homeroom teachers.
ユイ先生、自分ちの猫用の缶詰を置いとくのはどう考えても公私混同だよな。
Yeah, probably not. It's not exactly the best place to put that stuff. Culture festival in full swing. Let's sell us some red bean soup like there's no tomorrow. Deidudi Yotsubo Harada. I don't know who those people are. We're collecting to buy a bouquet of flowers for our dear friend Suzume, who will be leaving us for a new school after the festival. 300 yen per person. Contact Ayumi Shinozaki for payment. That's Mayu, ain't it? leave. Venturing out in search of others, you find that even the janitor has likely gone home. The lights are out and the halls are pitch black. Only the red glow of the light next to the fire extinguisher offers any respite from the quaint, quiet darkness of the school hallway. Standing around in the darkened corridors of our school building at 8 o'clock in the evening just feels so surreal. As the thunder and rain grow in intensity, the windows begin to condensate with moisture, turning white in contrast to the corridor's sea of black.
これ現実か？さっきまでのは夢だったんじゃないか。どこで何やってんだろう俺。どうした篠崎？
I knew it! It's too good to be true! Oh, fuck. お hello.
お前は
ちょうどこんな雨の降る放課後のことでした。私が誘拐されたあの日、朝、私はお母さんと喧嘩をしてしまいました。何を言ってるの？
わかんねえよ。
お母さんと顔を合わせるのが嫌で、学校の後、私は家へ帰らずにぼーっと渡り廊下にしゃがんで雨を眺めていました。そうしたら私の隣に吉和先生が座ってと私の話を聞いてくれたのです。先生、言葉を話せない病気だったけれど心は優しい人だったから私は好きでした。けれどお兄さん、お姉さん、ごめんなさい。
She's so tiny, she must be fifth grader.
カンナ、ユキちゃんね。さっきはありがとうございます。殺された私たちを成仏させようとしてくれて。
結局成仏はできたのか。なんでお前まだいるんだよ。
いいえ、できてません。
Yep. Figured.
あなたたちから言葉を奪った、脱ぎ取られた舌は返したし、あなたたちにひどいことをした犯人には懺悔させたけど、やっぱり許せない。私たちの成仏に許す、許さないというそれぞれの意志は関係ないんです。懺悔とは犯人と被害者との間に存在して、それ単体で私たち被害者の霊を動かすものです。私たちが 天神小学校を異空間に閉じ込めている霊場の断片だから、私たちを動かすという方法は正しいと思います。だけど足りていないんです、犯人の懺悔が。あいつの文化人形が喋った言葉では足りないってこと？あれは
で、なんだよ。なんだって無関係の人間を何人も何人も閉じ込めてるんだ。俺たちをあそこに呼び寄せたのはお前ら子供の幽霊たちだろ。
I don't think so.
それは違います。
だと？
私たちは異空間をつなぎ止める歯車に過ぎなくて。
お前鈴本を殺したじゃねえかよ。なあ、
もう少し聞こう。お姉さんたちだけでも無事に遅れてよかったです。
なんで急に俺たちを気遣うような言い方すんだよ。
私のお姉ちゃんに聞いたことがある。強い未練を残したまま暴力的に命を搾取された霊魂は、普通の人でいうところの錯乱状態に近い状態でとどまってしまうって。いろんな感情や思いがごちゃ混ぜになってしまっているから、本来の優しい心と聖者への妬みや敵意の気持ち等をコントロールできずに感情がくるくる変わるって。
お前の姉さんって霊能神？
うん、ちょっと違うけど。
So what you're saying is, this little girl and the creepy little girl we met before are two sides of the same coin.
だったらお願い、他の生きてるみんなも、持田くんや先生たちも連れてきてあげて。ねえ、できるんでしょ？もうそれは無理だと思います。どうして？あの空間はたくさんの無関係な命を食べ過ぎました。あそこで死んだ人たちの恨みの念がもう満員だから。行き場をなくした悲しい思いたちの影響で、すべての霊がわずかに残った理性を失い始めています。私だってもうすぐまた生きてる人をただ無差別に襲うだけの怨霊になってしまいます。あなたも味方してくれなくなるのね。だったらなおさら急がなきゃ。何か持田くんたちを助ける方法はないの
We're gonna have to fully break the curse. At least as much as we can.
一つだけあります。
どうするんだよ。
お兄さんも知っている方法です。あの場所へ戻って、私たち天神小学校の児童4名誘拐殺害事件被害者の霊を、みんなを成仏させてくれれば、歯車を失った異空間は多分消えてなくなります。そうすればもしかしたら。
あそこへ 戻るのかよ。それにせっかく残りあと一人だと思ってたのに、すんなつもりのお前ら3人も成仏してなかったしよ。
どうしてさっき内も持ったの？成仏できなかった理由。それは思い出したくないんです。でもどうしても知りたいのなら教えます。あの時のことは。
Yuki's spirit gently took hold of Ayumi's hand, and in an instant their two beings seemed to merge together into a single mind.
篠崎、
どうなったの？私、
That's a good question.
気絶したはずなのに意識がある。真っ暗だし体が動かない。なんか疲れた時になる金縛りみたい。
Oh. Oh, fuck.
ここは体が動かない。
犯行現場で唯一生き残った赤いワンピースの女児、篠崎幸子。幸子の家族は事件後、怯えるように他県へ移っていったとされている。
Strangely, however, I've been unable to locate any other records of the Shinozaki family. No matter where I look, the only information I can find about them comes from the newspaper reports on the Heavenly Host murders. Granted, when an elementary school becomes this stage for a grisly incident such as this, perpetrated by none other than the principal's own son, it stands to reason that the scandal would serve as the primary focus for public interest, with all other details fading into the background. So of course, after learning that Sachiko is safe, further news of her whereabouts was largely ignored in favor of the media circus surrounding the school. But there's more to it than that. People weren't just uninterested in learning of Sachiko's history or whereabouts, there was simply no data to be had. I can't move my body because of sleep paralysis, I guess. But I can clearly see the room I'm in now. There's only one boy and two girls in here aside from myself. I recognize them. They're the children who were killed in Heavenly Host during that incident, but they're still alive. Unfortunately, they're all bound hand and foot and just sprawled out on the floor. And so am I. That's the real reason I can't move. No, I'm blindfolded. I can't see a thing that's happening to me. And since my hands and feet are tied up, I can't remove the blindfold either. That just makes everything so much worse. I guess because I can't see, I begin to listen more intently. The helpless cries of the other children echo off the walls of the cramped room. I'm so scared it feels like my head's going to explode.
何するのよ。どうして目隠しなんか。ねえ、離して。今手足ほどいてよ。ねえ。
I kept begging and pleading, but all I heard in response was the man walking away from me. In order. I've never heard screaming like this before. It's pure primal terror cutting through the air like a perfect sine wave. It's the boy at the end. Feels like he's been screaming for an eternity. I think he's being killed right now. God, what the hell is he doing to him? No one deserves this. Why isn't God allowing him to fall unconscious so he doesn't have to suffer? It's been at least half an hour now. Those inhuman screams of a young boy being ripped apart from the inside have finally come to a halt. Oh, Jesus. Without even a single moment of silence, the first of the girls in line is the next to scream for her life, and the symphony goes on. God, I can't take any more of this. I'm losing my mind. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it! Is it still going on? Come on, just die already. Die already? God, what is wrong with me? You know what? I don't care. Just get it over with and leave me in peace. Finally, after hearing a sound that, like a heavy object being dropped, the noises stopped, and the room grew quiet again. Those footsteps are getting closer. All my hair is standing on end at this point. Everything below my stomach feels like it's frozen, like I've suddenly been stricken with severe diarrhea. In order. God, why am I relieved by the silence? The kid next to me just died. Which means it's my turn now. Someone's got me by the hair. They're pulling my head up and taking off my blindfold, which means I get to see the face of my killer. The 4 missing children were found in a basement room at Heavenly Host Elementary School, unused and officially sealed since the building's construction. When authorities entered, they were greeted with an inhumanly horrific sight. Based upon the evidence at hand, the murder weapon was determined to be a pair of large sewing scissors found in the hands of the accused. Investigators suspected some hesitation on the man's part, however, as the deceased victim's wounds did not indicate that his full strength had been used. Nonetheless, he had clearly acted with extreme malicious intent. The official cause of death for the 3 murdered children has been listed as loss of blood following from removal of the tongue. But the actual state of affairs was not quite so clinical, or even so pleasant, if you can believe it. The following details have been extrapolated from information previously unreleased to the public, or at least previously unreported by news outlets. These details of the crime are based on the official police testimony of Sachiko Shinozaki herself. Evidently, the victims were bound, blindfolded, and spaced out on the floor, then killed one by one. One was repeatedly stabbed in the abdomen with the aforementioned pair of scissors, that had many of his internal organs forcefully dug out. His discarded innards were found partially buried beneath the earthen floor of the basement room. Another was stabbed in the head dozens upon dozens of times, to such an extent that all flesh and bone above her jawline was essentially minced away. With my blindfold removed, the sight that appeared before me was more horrific than anything I could possibly have imagined. The person staring back to me brandishing a blood-soaked pair of sewing scissors wasn't the large man from earlier at all. It was one of the children. It was a little girl, her face dyed red with the blood of her victims. She was staring intently at me with soulless gray eyes, and then she just started giggling. She was opening and closing the bloodied scissors over and over again, and the sound kept echoing through the room. Then she took those dull, rusty, thoroughly blood-soaked blades and slowly brought them closer and closer to my left eye. The third victim was stabbed in the left eye an indeterminate number of times, until her eyeball became soup-like in consistency. She was eventually just left like that, slowly bleeding to death in horrible agony. Strangely, it was only after these mutilations had already been inflicted that the killer went back and severed the victims' tongues. Learning the truth about these proceedings is shocking even to me, and makes it nearly impossible to accept the murderer as anything but a monster. And bearing witness to every moment of this was a 7-year-old girl named Sachiko. In many ways, she's the most pitiable and long-suffering of them all. But it was through her tearful, frightened testimony that Yoshikazu Yanagihori was officially charged. Now, going back to the hunt for information on this unfortunate girl's whereabouts, it was her words that ultimately led to Yoshikazu's sentencing. Therefore, it comes as no real surprise that sensitive information pertaining to her and her family would be withheld. That's to be expected. What's not expected, however, is that there's not even the slightest trace of this information left to find. It's as if it simply never existed. Therefore, I cannot help but consider alternate possible explanations, and I remind you this is mere conjecture. But one question keeps nagging at the back of my mind. Was Yoshikazu Yanagihori really the murderer of the 3 victims? Is it possible that the crime was not actually perpetrated by him at all? Think about it. In his final days, Yoshikazu was incapable of communicating with others through speech. And despite his childlike reversion, he'd always been a personable and friendly man. As the saying goes, he wouldn't have hurt a fly. All his relative, friends, and neighbors confirmed as much, shocked to hear that such a kindly man could commit these unconscionable atrocities. He certainly had no motive for the crime either. There was nothing for him to gain from it. Then again, he may simply have lost his mind. Look at his father. It was around this same time that Principal Takamine Yanagihori suddenly began speaking in tongues and acting in a most peculiar way. Not to mention scribbling incomprehensible gibberish all over his walls as if possessed. He seemed frightened of someone and would often be found crouching in the corner of his office, moaning and thrashing when visitors came by. If he could wind up in such a beleaguered state with no warning, then perhaps so too could his son. I believe that we're looking for a curse more powerful than anything man could devise. From the time it opened its doors to the day it closed them forever. Heavenly Host Elementary School's sealed basement room has existed as some form of cursed ground. And to find the underlying cause, we must go back beyond the infamous kidnapping and murder incident. Back a whole 20 years. I believe I may have found a clue that could shed some light on the situation. Maybe a bit far-fetched as leads go, but it is a lead nonetheless. Regrettably, since Heavenly Host was not only closed down, but demolished altogether, and another school built in its place, it's no longer possible to investigate the basement room directly. But my protege has found what may be the next best thing. Something that can make the impossible possible once more. Preparations are being made to pursue this lead even now.
詳しくは次回の連載にてお伝えしたいと思う。楽しみにお待ちいただきたい。
Ko Kibiki, 2003, 722. Continued in Chapter 5. Holy shit.